Judging a book by the number of pages. That's what we're going to talk about in this What's Up Wednesday for July 31st, 2024. But first, let me remind you that today is the last day of the month. That means that the Smashwords sale, 50% off any of my non-KU books, it's ending today on Smashwords. So go over to Smashwords, get the ones that you want at 50% off before it goes up to regular price tomorrow. That is a coupon sale, so it's only on Smashwords. The coupon gets automatically applied, so you don't have to remember it. It's there. It'll take the percentage off for you. And all the prices are listed in US dollars, but it should convert to whatever currency that you're using. And neat thing about Smashwords, you get to keep the file. So even if I decide that a certain book is going to be going into Kindle Unlimited, which means I have to take it down from everywhere else, you won't lose access to that book ever. On some of the other platforms, I think Apple, after 3 years of it not being there, you'll lose access. So that's kind of a neat thing about Smashwords, is you actually get to keep it. All right, and then on Patreon and Ream, I have a free story this month again. It is Thunder, which is book 1 in the Nature's Fury and Delights collection, and it is a Darcy and Elizabeth story that is set earlier than when Pride and Prejudice would begin. So I let them meet earlier, and I let them meet in Derbyshire. So make sure you sign up just as a free follower if you want to read that book for free on either Patreon or Ream. The book is available to buy everywhere, so you can also purchase it. All right, and there's a couple of bundles of those shorter stories. They're novelette length stories, so I don't want to call them short stories because they're not short stories. They're slightly longer than that. You can get those. There's Thunder, Mist, and Frost is the first one, and then there is First Blooms and Second Chances, which is the second set of those types of stories. Okay, so however you want to read it, but if you want to read it for free, do it today at Patreon or Ream, because after today it's going to be disappearing from there as a free read, and there'll be a new free read that'll be popping up there. So if you're following, you'll get notified, or I think you get notified when I put it free, hopefully. If not, there'll be a Saturday broadsheet next week, not this week, next week, that'll let you know what the new free read is. Or you can check my current book promotions page on my blog, which I should have updated probably by Monday of next week, hopefully before that, but I like to give myself a little leeway just because, life happens and I have a couple of appointments. All right, so we're going to talk about some books. I had this thing happen yesterday. I got a box of books and I was looking at them, and I realized it was a really good object lesson. And being a former teacher, I just can't pass up the opportunity to do a little bit of object lesson teaching. So this is my other pen name, Annalee Nelson, and she is a contemporary Christian romance author. She has 3 books so far in her Hatfield Falls series. These books are about the Bennett children. Pastor Bennett, Mark Bennett, he is the pastor at the Hatfield Falls Christian Church. And he has 6 children and a wife who loves Jane Austen. So she has named all of her children after Jane Austen characters. So these 3 books, book 1 was Will Bennett, book 2, Henry Bennett, book 3, Edmund Bennett, book 4, which I'm writing right now, is Frederick Bennett, and then there's also Brendan Bennett and one sister, Emma Bennett. So 5 boys, 1 girl. And they are all named after Jane Austen characters. Anyway, that's not the object lesson. If we look at these books, if we saw them sitting on a shelf, okay, so this is book 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. We would naturally assume that this book, book 1, is the longest book. I mean, it looks like it's a lot longer than either of these other 2 books because it's quite thick. One of the things that's making it thick, however, is not word count or length of story. It's the paper used. Okay, for some reason this one is cream colored. I probably checked the wrong box when setting it up at the printer, and once you check that, they don't let you uncheck it and change it, so it's stuck at cream, and these others are on white paper. The white paper is a lighter weight paper, so it's thinner than the cream paper. Personally, I like the white with the black on it, and I know there are others who don't, but I like it this way because I do sometimes have trouble seeing because, well, getting older and my eyes, I've worn glasses for years and they're just not getting better. They're not getting super worse, but they aren't going to get a whole lot better. So I find it a little bit easier to see and read the words that are there on the white. Another thing that's adding to the length, and hopefully I'm not getting too much feedback there because my microphone, is in this one, the font is just a tiny bit different than the font over here. Let's see if I can get a page with a lot of words on it. Okay. And the line spacing is just a tiny bit, just a little tiny bit different and larger than on this one. So you've got tiny little formatting issues. The author name at the top is a little bit bigger here, and you've got a little bigger page numbering and things like that. So there are tiny little formatting differences that are adding to the size of this book. These 2 books, the first and the second, are very close to the same length when you look at their word count. But when you look at them, and I'll put number 3 down for now, when you look at them next to each other, number 1 looks so much bigger than number 2. But it's not. Number 1 is 60,889 words, and this book is 63,358. So this is almost probably 2.5 to 3,000 words more than this book. But this book looks like it's bigger than this book. So when they say, don't judge a book by its cover, they should also be saying, don't judge a book or a story by how fat the book looks on the shelf, because it may not be a longer story than the one next to it. So I thought that was a really interesting thing. I have heard many times over the years, because I write shorter books in my Leany name. These are a little bit longer than what I write for Leany. So my Leany name ones, I have gotten comments from readers, well, I only read books that have a certain number of chapters. I only read books that have a certain number of pages. But the pages don't necessarily give you a longer book, because I can buy a 302 page book and have a shorter story than the 261 page book in this series. So I thought it was a really good illustration that you can't always judge a book's length, I guess is what I would want to say, by how it looks on the shelf. I like, if you look up, I'm not sure if they do it on Smashwords or not, I should have checked that, but I know like on Kobo, where my books are, they'll give you like how long they expect it'll be for you to read it, just like Amazon. When you look on Kindle, it'll tell you, oh, this will take you an hour and a half to read, and it's 102 pages or whatever. It'll tell you that when you go to the About the Book. Kobo, on their sales page, they will tell you how long it'll be. They'll give you an estimate of the page numbers, and they'll also give you an estimate, I think that's where it is, an estimate of the word count that is in it. And I wish that all of the ebooks that I was buying had word count listed, because then I would know exactly how long it was and how long it was going to take me to read. See, I'm the opposite of the people that say I'm not going to read that because it's too short. If it's over a certain number of pages, I'm probably not going to read it, because I'm a slow reader and I'm not very good at putting a book down. If I can put your book down and be able to go on to other things without it, disturbing me, like, oh, what's going to happen next? The thoughts going in my mind, like, I need to get back to that book. I may not pick it back up again. So I like shorter, interesting books that I can kind of do all in one day before I go to bed that night, so I don't have to stay up all night reading. I like them shorter, so I am one of those people that will do it the opposite way. And I know sometimes I have picked up a book that is like, oh, this is only 10 chapters long, this shouldn't take me too long to read. But those chapters were like 4,500 to 5,000 words long each, and it took me a long time to read that book, even though it was only 10 chapters. So it is kind of a cautionary tale about, don't judge a book by its cover. You've got to look at the contents. You've got to look at what's inside as to whether it is a good book that you're going to enjoy or not. And that is a subjective thing as far as, is it a good book? Is it something that you enjoy? It's all up to you in that case. And the number of pages, the number of words isn't always the best way to decide if it's going to be a good book for you. Anyway, this has gone a little bit longer than the 10 minutes that I usually like to keep these to, but I just couldn't help myself showing you these books. I will mention why I was doing this. I hope to have something maybe in this upcoming broadsheet, maybe not. I don't know yet, but I am setting up an Etsy store, LeanieBBooks.etsy.com. All of my books, both in my Annalie name and my Leanie name, eventually, over a very long period of time, I'm hoping to get them up onto that story. I mean, it's going to take a while because it's expensive to order the books and keep them on hand and things like that. So it'll take a while. Right now I only have one book, and they won't all be in the store at the same time. I doubt it. Maybe 5 years from now, but not now. I only have one book on there right now because when I was setting it up, they made you put a product on, and the product that I had on my shelf, I have 5 copies of With the Colonel's Help that you can get. They are signed by me. If you'd like them personalized to you, like your name put in there, they'll say your name and then happy reading, Leanie B or Leanie Brown, however I rate it that day. And they will come with a bookmark. And right now that book is listed as $20 Canadian, because I'm setting it up on the Canadian side, obviously, because that's where I live. And that would adjust depending on where you are, what your currencies are, and then there's the shipping that you would have to pay to get it to your house. So that's why I had these books, and that's why I saw them next to each other and saw that, you know what, just because a book is thick doesn't mean it's longer than the one next to it. Isn't that a great thing, a visual to see? So anyway, that's my fun for today and our What's Up Wednesday for this month, this last day of this month. Let's get the words out there, Leanie. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Bye.